Clayton against
First
Chisnall
leg, Dave to throw first.
for a place
Game on.
in the final. The number 9 seed, Dave Chisnall, against the number 13 seed, Jonny Clayton. England against Wales once again. It was England who came out on top in the opening semi-final. Who's going to come out on top in the second? That's a question for Paul Nicholson alongside me.
Where's my coin? It's in my pocket. I'll have to flip it, see what falls, because this one is a 50-50 game. Clayton has been brilliant this weekend, and he's been involved in some fantastic matches and put in some wonderful performances. But Chisnall, in his last game against Jermaine Watamina, his doubling was just lethal. And if he does that in this game and gives himself enough chances with that scoring ability he has, then maybe he's got the edge. But it's Clayton who has the most recent experience of making a final and getting the job done. So, on the other hand, you think Clayton may be the favourite. It really is very close.
164.
Well, Chisnall down to a finish first on his throw, but he won't be finishing off here after that single 5.
Yeah, he wouldn't be liking that pull into the single 7 either, but he rescued that situation pretty well with a treble 19. Yeah, good darts from JC. Not so much the right tactics to get a score there, but he got one eventually. Double 19, he's going for it. Didn't choose to split.
76.
Maybe he's thinking he should have.
Jonny with 140.
Yeah, because Clayton, as we know, is more than capable of landing this ton 40, but see, the first dart is errant once again. And so Dave Chisnall will get the opportunity. 3 for double 8, I would imagine here.
190.
Well, it's a risky one because you've got a 17 on one side and a 19 on the other, but when you're Dave Chisnall, you don't even think about that. You just get the 3, and you get the double 8 and finish off the leg.
Well, the Yeoman's, sorry.
At this point in the tournament, though, Rob, it's all about how good you're playing, but also how you feel. And if you haven't got a great deal of experience playing long Sundays on the Euro Tour, you could feel pretty tired right about now. One of the reasons why Dobie and Gezi Price played so well in the last game is because
60.
They're quite fit. Roger's feeling the heat.
You try playing on stage, Rog. Never mind sitting down there. Yeah, just the one semi-final on the Euro Tour this year for Dave Chisnall. That was at the German Darts Open. He lost to MVG 7-6. Jonny Clayton, well documented, of course, that he is a man who has not had too much joy on the Euro Tour this year. Making it through to the final day for the first time. Chisnall posting another big visit.
Yeah, Chizzy should have won that game against MVG as well.
99.
He had MVG in the palm of his hand and just forgot to close that hand. He let MVG get away with it. Now, is this the game where the rhythm starts to unravel? You're hoping as a Chizzy fan that's not the case. And he should draw on the experience of playing very well in that semi-final against MVG, and the fact that he's won twice this season. Put those two together, and Chizzy's going to be a really good hope of getting to the final to play against Hollywood.
43.
Well, Dave Chisnall, the omens are good for him here because he's played Jonny Clayton 3 times before and he's won every single one of them. One meeting on the Euro Tour as well in Gibraltar a couple of years ago, 6-4, and also earlier this year on the Pro Tour in a semi-final, and Chizzy went on to win the title that weekend as well. Tops for Chizzy, and tops again for Chizzy. And that has echoes of Jermaine Watamina earlier today, 137 on the top stops finish.
Yeah.
And Chizzy's emulated the man he beat earlier tonight.
Some shot, that. And in that quarter-final, he was devastating on double top, and he's starting to do it again. Yeah, some shot, that. Just to deny Jonny Clayton, who will be buoyed by this weekend, whatever happens.
Yes, I think
it is a return to form.
Absolutely. First final day involvement on the Euro Tour. It's been long overdue for him.
Well, I saw a tweet earlier on from a statistician who said that if Per Larson had taken that double top out against Clayton yesterday, his seeding would have gone. His place at Göttingen was under threat.
100.
A lot has happened since then, and all of a sudden, Jonny Clayton is something like number 11 provisionally for the next round of seedings, which
137.
is astounding considering, you know, the turnaround in the 24 hours since then. Well, Jonny Clayton is not noted as the best counter on tour. Going for the 54 on 304 is the wrong shot. Because if you get the single 18, you can't even finish.
144.
And he's been bitten because Chizzy has just done a perfect job of setting up tops.
Well, Chris Dobie,
100.
in 2 of his matches this weekend, has survived match starts. Jonny Clayton survived a match start against Larsen. Chizzy survived a match start against Sulevic as well. So they've all had a very nervy time of it to get this far. But Chizzy looking pretty comfortable at the moment. Not a flawless performance by any stretch of the imagination, but you'd rather be in his shoes right now.
Oh, yeah.
Very good on the finishing once again, I've got to say.
Yeah, 3 out of 2 on tops.
180.
And what I mean by that is that one of them wasn't actually for the leg, but he still hit it.
135.
It's a bit like Ricky Evans when he was 9 for 7. Remember that?
I do.
That was very impressive. 3 double-double checkouts in the same game.
59.
7-5 when they met in that semi-final on the Pro Tour earlier this year. That was Chizzy's first PDC title in 18 months. And he may be on course for a second PDC title of this year. 180 down to 186.
137.
Dave Chisnall remains unbeaten in Denmark. He was an absentee here last year.
He's just not missing much on that 60. His range is just so tight.
135. Jonny with 125.
Absolutely strangling his opponents with brilliant scoring. Clayton needed that 60 for a shot at tops, and
65.
Chizzy is right there again after 9 on 51, giving his opponent nothing. And he's on tops again, and there's only one result. Oh, he slips for the first time.
Jonny
Well, 3 from 5 becomes 3 from 7 for Dave Chisnall. And, well, no great damage done because this is a potential holder throw for Jonny Clayton. It would have been another break for Chizzy, which would have been very welcome indeed. But Clayton, no doubt relieved to get off the mark at long last.
Yeah, Chizzy hasn't made a Euro Tour final in the era of the elongated format. So he hasn't got over the line
22.
in a best of 13 match on the Euro Tour. Jonny has. And how can we forget the game that was? It was against Sulevic in Graz in what is probably now the second loudest game the Euro Tour has ever heard.
100.
Well, I clearly think that whatever happens to Chizzy this weekend, this is the culmination of what has been a much needed and a perhaps long overdue upturn in form in general. Things do seem to be working out for him once again. He's showing good form in the main on the Pro Tour as well. Mentioned that title. A ton 80 for good measure as well. He's third on the Players' Championship Order of Merit right now. £6,500 behind Glenn Durrant.
140.
And it's £6,500 that you get for the semi-finals, ironically. He's looking for 19s this time. He's got 2 of the trebles. Make that 3. It's a 3-bagger.
171.
And he's left himself the Mensur. Although
Scored.
Mensur was let down by the double 14 earlier today.
He was. Did you guys talk about the fact that you had to use a foreign set of darts today?
Yep, well documented, and we did not dwell on it too long, but it's certainly a consideration. Double 14 for Chizzy. That wasn't in, Dave. I think he thought it was good at first. That one's further away, and that one's bang on target. Chizzy re-establishes that daylight of 3 legs. 4-1 to the good. And a good response after losing that leg to Jonny Clayton. A leg perhaps he should have won himself.
Yes, perhaps.
57.
Jonny Clayton's going to have to get that magic wand out again that he seems to wield at certain points in his career, and he showed over the course of the last 2 years just how dangerous he is, especially when he's beaten the best player in the world a couple of times, when he's been on full tilt. Beat him at the Grand Slam, of course, and on the Pro Tour with telephone number averages.
Well, the scoring's been strong this weekend for Chizzy. He's had tough encounters everywhere he turned. Ratajski, Sulevic and Watimena. Not an easy passage by any stretch of the imagination. On course today for what would be his first ton plus average of the weekend.
Yeah, it just goes to show you don't have to average massively to get yourself to a semi-final. You've just got to do the things that you need to at the right times, and that's something that MVG talks about pretty much every time he comes to the Euro Tour. And Dave has done that very well this week. Excellent darts from Jonny Clayton. That puts him in the best position of the two in this 6th leg. But the way that Dave's been playing, I wouldn't say this isn't out of the... Oh, well, I'm going to retract my words just in time, because it was out of the question.
104. Jonny requires 64.
Can Jonny get within 2 again? He needs double 16. He gets double 16 in the bottom corner.
Keeps himself going.
Game on.
I think 5-1 would have been a heck of a mountain to climb for Jonny Clayton.
100.
The one stat that leaps off the page for me is the 1st and 3rd dart average for Dave. They're very similar. They're up near 40. Says to me that the 1st dart is planted and
45.
He's searching with that 2nd dart. The 2nd dart is only 26. So if he's having a bad one, it's this one. But the 3rd dart, again, comes to his rescue. I like looking at the split of the 1st, 2nd and 3rd. It tells a story sometimes. And
59.
You'd feel with the image and the reputation of Dave as a huge 180 hitter, he'd probably have the best 1st dart stats in the world. Well, the stats on all 3 were great there.
Yeah, absolutely perfect on all 3 of them. We're closing in on the 200th 180 of the weekend. I think we'll get there. I think there's plenty of time for more
45.
here, and
I
fully expect we'll have a cluster in the final as well.
I think it was Saarbrücken where we got over 220. That was a ridiculous weekend. But then again, all the quarterfinals went 11 legs.
Yeah, that's what you need.
81.
Well, I did Chizzy a bit of a disservice. I forgot about the 2nd title he won in March when he beat Rob Cross in the last 16 and Gurney in the final. So he's on course for what would be a 3rd PDC title of 2019. So Dave Chisnall looking to make it a hat-trick. We talked about a hat-trick for Ian White this weekend. Well, Dave Chisnall looking to make it a hat-trick of his own.
Game on.
Plenty on display here for Dave Chisnall in the talent department.
Nice segue. He got a wolf whistle as well. You've got an admirer out there, Dave.
58.
It is very hot in here, and it's been getting hotter as the day's gone on. But as much as some of the players have been saying it's too hot, it's too hot,
60.
the thing is, you'd much rather play when you're warm than when you're cold, because your
when
muscles are nice and free.
When there's a breeze or a draft.
Oh, it's horrible when that happens.
Or when the pipes are frozen at Minet and you have to play backstage.
Don't get me started. I felt like Gerwin Price when I played there. I was like the Iceman.
Chizzy keeping his cool here in the heat of Copenhagen.
JC making the right call this time.
97.
Why did you switch, Jonny? You get the 57, you get another one of those in a single 19, and you're left on 170. A tactical error.
140.
Well, Chizzy is just doing all the right things at the right times now. He's going in the right places here.
60.
He's finding his targets more often than not now, and it's very, very hard to see Jonny Clayton clawing his way back from this. He really needs Dave Chisnall to hit the skids alarmingly.
57.
This has been one of the most complete evening sessions for Dave that I've seen from him in a long, long time. his game is in very much a polished mood.
Well, Clayton took out the 146 for a 12-dart break against James Wade in the last 16 earlier. Couldn't take out the 146 there. And Dave Chisnall now sizing up this 64 for a 6-2 lead.
He might hit the 8, yep, to leave tops again.
44. Jonny requires
I think we're all in
48.
shock that he missed it.
I am somewhat surprised. He looked all set there to gobble that one up. Jonny
And
Clayton
Jonny
gobbles that
Clayton.
one up. It's a holder throw for 5-3.
9 flag Dave to throw first.
Do ferrets gobble?
I suspect they just nibble
They gnaw.
or gnaw, yeah.
137.
Well, Wales have had a very good day on the dartboard
60.
with JC and Gerwin Price going deep in this one. Can the one that's left do a Lazarus act, get himself back in it,
60.
and have a crack at Hollywood?
Jonny Clayton just issuing a few reminders.
100.
Well, Clayton, a break of throw here would do him the world of good.
100.
You can feel the tension in here a little bit.
Yeah, there are just occasional lulls in the crowd, aren't there, where they just
161.
stop and just draw breath for a moment and just absorb what's happening on stage.
I think sometimes we need to do that ourselves. Bullseye for JC! Oh! How about announcing yourself back into this contest with what James Wade did to him earlier? An absolute
10
rip
flag,
stomper.
Jonny to throw first.
Well, we have
Game
seen
on.
some pretty special checkouts so far this weekend. Jonny Clayton has produced his fair share. That 1-2-1 checkout against Per Larsen, the 146
100.
against James Wade earlier. And there, his pick of the bunch, 161 to get back on terms, back on throw at 5-4. How the
140.
whole emphasis of this match has just completely changed.
What I'm going to say is, if Jonny Clayton can get out of this little bind and win this match, I'm going to say Jonny Clayton for James
95.
Bond. And call that movie Never Say Die. Because the guy has got real guts and determination. He's noted for it.
60.
There are players on the tour who have real scrappy reputations, like Robert Thornton. And people aspire to be as good as the all-time great
58.
Scot player. But I tell you what, Jonny Clayton has got some stones.
Defying an 8-point deficit in the averages right now, but Jonny Clayton, 4 out of 4 on his
95.
checkout so far. When he's getting the opportunities, he is taking them, and if he can maintain that sort of intensity and accuracy, then it's there for the taking. And he's maintained his accuracy on that treble 20 bed as well for good measure, and he's given himself another opportunity. He should, barring some disaster, give himself another dart at a double.
140. Jonny
Good
requires
answer from
68.
Dave to put himself on a very similar shot. This is enormous. Oh,
Five.
Jonny
Jonathan
Clayton!
Blake.
Out of
Jonny
5 for Jonny Clayton.
11 flag Dave to throw first.
He
Game
has
on.
turned this match on its head. He's not quite turned it around just yet, but Dave Chisnall was leading 5-2. He was looking good for a 6-2 lead as well, let's
60.
not forget. But Jonny Clayton isn't done with just yet. Write him off at your peril. He wants to sample the glory of Graz all over again.
If Jonny Clayton was to win this title,
121.
he will get his second European Tour title after taking out the #1 home favourite.
140.
I said to him yesterday after that Larsen game, and I know I keep talking about it, but if Earthlings needed someone to go to the moon and fight for the planet in a game of darts against
140.
some sort of alien darts team in front of their own kind, I'd throw in Jonny Clayton.
100.
And I'm sure we'd try and provide a live stream of that one as well, Paul.
You know it.
That would be a challenge for our production crew, but I'm sure they're up to it. Jonny Clayton's certainly up to it as well here.
40.
Down to a ton on the Chizzy throw, and the momentum is just right there for Jonny Clayton.
100. Jonny
Rog
require
looks a little bit
100.
shell-shocked himself.
Yeah, he looks a bit worried.
I think he would like to call some sort of medical timeout here just to try and regroup and refocus Dave
40.
Chisnall. Now then, Paul, what do you make of that?
Well, he went for tops, but that first shot of tops was almost on the moon. And now this could be a real backbreaker if he can get this 101.
He's got it. Tops. Oh, Dave Chisnall isn't done with just yet. Where did that come from?
Top leg, Jonny to throw first.
I'll tell you what, there's been
Game
more
on.
swings in this game than a playground factory.
101 checkout on tops. His trusted friend
59.
comes to his rescue when he needed him most, and Jonny Clayton will be feeling the after effects of that one.
Yeah, the worried Roger, just a little bit more hopeful after that. He's one away, is Dave, after
56.
a 101 checkout that was just so well timed. That may have hurt Jonny Clayton enough
100.
to stop him in his tracks. This has been an exceptional semi-final. It's been a wonderful tournament. This may be the best European tournament we've had this year, and that's saying something compared to what we had in Saarbrücken, which was quite special.
Well, Dave Chisnall is still averaging over 103, even though he's gone off the boil over the last
37.
3 legs or 3 or 4 legs prior to winning that 11th leg. He's one away now from a place in the final, on course for what would be a second European Tour title.
100.
It would be a third PDC title of 2019.
It's one of those games where you just want to
59.
sip your cup of tea really quietly and watch what comes in. It's so intriguing. Can Chisnall get it done here? It's looking very likely that we are going all the
82.
way.
Jonny require
146 again. .76 down.
94.
Puts himself in position to give himself an option of tops or 16s.
And let's face it, 5 from 5 so far. You would fancy Jonny Clayton to make it 6 from 6 perhaps as well. He won't care if it's 6 from 7 or 6 from 8 as long as he gets that 6th leg
Jonny
on the
require
board.
52.
Yeah, he won't care one jot. That is a safe 20. Double 8. It's there. You called it, Rob. He is there. It's 6-6. One leg shootout to see who plays Hollywood in the final. Don't go anywhere.
Game on.
Well, George Noble steels himself for a 13th and deciding leg to settle this pulsating semi-final, which Dave Chisnall steals into the margin. I said there was plenty of time for more 180s. I don't think we're going to hit the record that we saw in the Dutch Darts Masters 4 years ago of 229. But Dave Chisnall will be hoping to chip in with maybe another one here. No, he won't. Just the 3 perfect darts. That's a perfect treble 19, and that's a second as well. Great switching from Dave Chisnall down to 187 in the blink of an eye.
Needs another treble. Doesn't get it. 2 tons aren't enough. Chisnall has put his foot to the floor. He wants to get this done. That treble 19 keeps his foot on the floor.
210 the gap, minus these. And no
58.
treble for Jonny
Maybe
Clayton.
required 91.
Will make Dave Chisnall very happy indeed as well.
I'm
He's
not sure Dave thought he had 91 left, but he has got 91. He had 187, scored 96, 91 remains. Single 20, and he will be
51.
back for that very familiar skinny red bit to put himself in the final with very good friend. And I'm not just saying that, they are very good pals. Chris Dobie.
59.
Well, this is the go-to double for Dave Chisnall, isn't it? Double 20 for a place in the final of the Danish Darts Open. Yet to lose a match in Copenhagen. Wasn't here last year, but he's making up for lost time this weekend. Dave Chisnall looking at tops. Still looking at tops, and now looking at double 10.
30.
Hold your horses, Paul Nicholson.
If only I was a bit lower, says Jonny. He's got to put the pressure on. This double 5 is not a gimme.
180.
And he's done a good job there, has Jonny Clayton.
He's done a very good job indeed. Remember, he is 6 from 7 on his doubles. But the question is, will Jonny Clayton get the opportunity? Chisnall comes inside. Just finds the single 1. Double 2. Dave Chisnall is through to the final of the Danish Darts Open, and he remains on track for what would be a 3rd PDC title of 2019. It's been a long time since Dave Chisnall won a European Tour event. You have to go all the way back to 2013. But it's Chisnall and Chris Dobey who will meet in the final here in Copenhagen after a pulsating semi-final that's been very much in keeping with the rest of the tournament as a whole.